You enter a place where rules quietly exist, not written down, not announced, just understood. People stand in lines without thinking about it. They wait, they keep space between their bodies, they lower their voices when needed. Everything moves in a soft rhythm that feels familiar, predictable, safe. Then you notice one person who moves slightly out of step, not loud, not dramatic, just early. They step forward before it's their turn. They move into spaces that are usually left open. They reach first, sit first, take first. Their movements feel smooth, unbothered, like timing means nothing to them. No one stops them. A few people notice, you can see it in small shifts. Someone pauses, someone looks away, another person adjusts their position to avoid contact. The rule was broken, but it stays unspoken. The moment passes, the person does not look around to check reactions. They don't scan the room, they don't search for approval. Their body stays relaxed, shoulders loose, movements easy. There is no tension in them, no sign they feel exposed. You start to watch closer. It happens again. They interrupt a process without hesitation. They use something that clearly isn't meant for them. They move ahead while others wait. Nothing big, nothing worth is seen, just small advantages taken again and again. The room adapts. People step back instead of speaking. Someone exhales quietly. Another person shrugs. It feels easier to let it happen than to challenge it. You can sense the calculation in the air. Conflict takes energy. Silence is cheaper. The person seems to feel this shift, not emotionally, practically. They test the space, move a little further, take a little more. Each time nothing happens, their confidence grows, not proud, not excited, just comfortable. Everyone else still follows the rules. They apologize when they bump into someone. They wait their turn. They respect the invisible order of things. The rules still exist, just not for this person. At some point, tension appears in the room. You see it in posture. Someone stands straighter, someone tightens their grip on an object, but no one speaks. The person continues moving freely, unchanged. You start to understand. They don't feel the weight of social rules. They don't carry that inner pause that asks, "Should I?" There is no hesitation in their body, no small signs of doubt. They move through the room like gravity touches them differently. While others bend, they stay straight. While others adjust, they continue. Nothing explodes, no scene, no confrontation, just small breaks, over and over. And slowly, the room learns something without saying it. Rules exist, but not for everyone. This is where Jung would turn his attention, not to the rule itself, but to what happens inside the person when the rule is broken. Or more precisely, what does not happen. Most people carry an inner reaction, a pause, a small tightening in the body, a flicker of awareness, something that registers, "I crossed a line." You can often see it in their posture, in their breath, in the way they look around after. With this person, none of that appears. Their body does not change, their breathing stays slow, their shoulders stay loose. There is no sign of tension, no sign of relief either, just continuation, as if nothing unusual occurred. Jung spoke about the shadow, the hidden parts people avoid, anger, envy, shame. But here, the shadow does not feel dark, it feels empty. There is nothing being pushed down, nothing leaking out, no micro-expressions, no nervous habits, no small tells. You notice it when someone nearby reacts. A person shifts their weight, their hands tighten slightly, their eyes follow the movement. The room feels it. But the person who crossed the line remains unchanged. Their body stays open, calm, untouched by the moment. They do not look back to check. They do not scan for disapproval. They do not prepare a defense. Their system does not register threat. This is what stands out. Not boldness, not confidence. Absence. An absence of inner friction. Most people carry invisible social threads inside them. They feel pulled when they step out of line. Even if no one speaks, something inside speaks. With this person, there is silence inside. Not peaceful silence, blank silence. Jung would notice how quickly they move on. They do not replay the moment later, they do not sit with it, they do not adjust their behavior afterward. There is no learning curve, no memory attached. The moment is gone as soon as it ends. When someone looks uncomfortable, they notice it. You can see it in their eyes, but it does not change their movement. They register reactions like data, not like emotion. They understand rules. That part is clear. Their actions are too precise to be confused. They know where the line is, they just step over it without internal resistance. Jung would say something did not develop here, an inner boundary, a feeling of impact, the emotional feedback system. You see it in how easily they move through people, through space, through shared moments. Nothing sticks to them. The room absorbs the tension, they do not. For them, the moment leaves no mark, no weight, no echo. This is where Nietzsche would begin watching the story they tell about themselves. Not out loud, inside. The quiet story that shapes how they see their actions. You can sense it in their posture, the way they hold their head, the way they move through space without hesitation. They do not look unsure. They do not slow down after crossing a line. Their body carries certainty. Most people show small signs when they feel wrong. A lowered gaze, a shift of weight, a nervous breath. With this person, none of that appears. They move forward as if nothing happened, as if the action was natural, normal. Nietzsche warned about this kind of inner logic, when someone decides their own rules matter more than shared ones. You see it here in how relaxed they stay. Their shoulders remain open, their steps remain steady, their pace does not change. They do not feel watched, they do not feel judged. Around them, the room feels different. People hesitate, they adjust their distance. Someone who is about to move stops. Someone else waits longer than needed. The person notices these shifts, you can tell. Their eyes register it. But they do not change their behavior. This is where morality becomes flexible, not in words, in movement, in choices. Their body says, "This is fine," even when others feel it isn't. Nietzsche would see the quiet belief underneath, a sense of being above the rules, not superior in an obvious way, just separate, like they exist on a different level. The shared system feels optional to them. They do not feel proud, they do not feel guilty. Their emotional range stays flat. The action has no weight inside, it is simply something that happened. You start noticing a pattern. They take space when others hesitate, they step forward when others pause, they act while others think. People around them slowly adapt. Someone who would usually speak up stays silent. Someone who would normally move first waits. The room reshapes itself around this person without anyone agreeing to it. Nietzsche would notice how this shifts power quietly, not through force, through certainty. People trust confidence, even when it has no depth behind it. The person never checks if they were fair. They never look back to see who was affected. Their attention stays forward, on the next moment, the next move. They do not carry the idea of right and wrong inside their body. They carry what works. You see it in their rhythm. Step, take, move on. No pause, no reflection. The room holds the weight. They do not. This is where Machiavelli would stop looking at intention and focus only on results. What changes after this person moves through the room? Who shifts position? Who becomes quieter? Who steps back without being asked? Power shows itself in small movements, not big moments. The person does not break rules loudly. They choose timing. They move when attention is low, when people are distracted, when no one feels strong enough to intervene. You can see the calculation in their pace, slow, measured, never rushed. They watch the room closely, not with emotion, with interest. Their eyes follow patterns. Who speaks up? Who avoids conflict? who gives space easily. This information stays with them. You feel it in how their behavior becomes more precise over time. Machiavelli believed real power hides, and this person never looks powerful. They don't stand taller, they don't take center space, they stay casual, ordinary. That's what makes it work. After each small rule break, the room adjusts. Someone who would usually correct them stays silent. Someone else avoids eye contact. A person shifts their weight and steps back. These reactions stack quietly, like invisible bricks. The person notices. You can see it in how their confidence settles deeper. Not excitement, not pride, just comfort. They have learned where the edges are and where there are none. They begin to move with more freedom, taking space when others hesitate, reaching first when hands pause, sitting where others wait. Each move is small, but together they form a pattern. Power grows in repetition, in knowing what you can do without consequence. The person never needs to threaten, never needs to argue. The room does the work for them. Machiavelli would recognize this. Control without force, influence without noise. The most effective kind. When someone finally shifts, when a body stiffens, when tension appears in the air, the person does not react emotionally. They notice, they store it, they adjust next time. Choose a different moment, a different angle. They do not push against resistance, they go around it, like water finding cracks. Over time, they gain something invisible: access, freedom, the ability to move through spaces others cannot. Rules still exist. You can see people follow them, wait, apologize, adjust, but the person does not. They step where others stop. They take where others ask. The room learns this silently. No one agrees, but everyone adapts. And the person keeps moving, untouched, unmarked, until the next observation.